Don't sign those divorce papers yet. The second your pen hits the page, you could be walking straight into financial ruin, or worse, losing rights you'll never get back. These are the 7 divorce traps that cost men everything, and most guys don't even see them coming. Every year, millions of men go through divorce, and most of them fall into the same hidden traps. The system isn't designed to protect you. Lawyers, custody agreements, settlements, they're full of fine print. And if you don't know where these traps are, you could lose your money, your home, your retirement, even your kids. And once it's gone forever. Men think signing the divorce papers quickly will save them time, money, and stress. But here's the reality. Once your signature is on that piece of paper, your leverage is completely gone. One study showed that men who settled too fast lost up to 30% more in assets than those who held firm. So slow down. Never sign under pressure. Even if it feels like you're dragging things out, that time could uncover hidden accounts, unfair terms, or missing assets. Pressure is the enemy. Patience is your protection. One man in Ohio signed a temporary settlement in just 30 days, believing it would save him legal fees. He didn't realize his wife had transferred stock shares into her name. When he tried to fight it later, the court refused to reopen the case. He lost hundreds of thousands he could never get back. Ask yourself this: would you sign a business deal without reading the fine print? Then why risk your entire future with one rushed signature? And if rushing to sign can destroy your assets, the next trap could bury you in debt you never even created. Most men think debt disappears if it's not in their name. Reality? If your wife racked it up during the marriage, you could still be on the hook. Credit cards, medical bills, even loans you never knew existed. Courts can split them right down the middle. Protect yourself by pulling every account statement and running full credit reports before signing anything. If debt happened during the marriage, it's fair game. One husband thought he was walking away debt-free. After signing, he learned his ex had secretly run up $25,000 in medical bills on a shared card. The court forced him to cover half, a debt he didn't even know existed. Would you pay $12,000 for someone else's mistakes? Because if you miss this step, that's exactly what could happen. And debt isn't the only hidden danger. The next trap can decide whether you see your kids every week or barely at all. Men think custody agreements are clear, but the reality is that one vague line can decide your entire future with your kids. Judges don't rewrite sloppy wording later. If it's vague, your ex gets to interpret it however she wants. Push for precise wording: days, times, locations, holidays. Spell it all out in black and white. If it's not written, it doesn't exist in the court's eyes. One father agreed to alternate weekends and select holidays. He thought that meant 2 weekends a month. His ex argued it meant one. The judge sided with her. He spent years and tens of thousands in court fighting for time with his kids. Imagine your 8-year-old asking why he doesn't see you anymore. And the answer is because of one vague line in your paperwork. And if you're a father, you already know how high these stakes are. Tell me in the comments, what's the biggest custody challenge you've seen or heard of? I want to hear your story. And while vague custody language can quietly rob you of time, the next trap can strip away decades of retirement savings in one stroke. Most men think retirement is untouchable. Reality? Your retirement accounts, your pension, even military retirement, they're marital assets. Courts split them all the time. One signature could cost you half your future. Before signing, always have a retirement specialist review QDROS, the orders that divide retirement accounts. One wrong line could cost you penalties, taxes, and years of savings. One man assumed his pension was safe. His ex's lawyer slipped in a QDRO, and suddenly half his retirement was gone. He had to delay his retirement by 10 years just to recover financially. Would you hand over 20 years of savings with one pen stroke? Because that's what happens when you ignore this trap. All that it takes is one single form that can be easily overlooked in the process. And if retirement can vanish in seconds, the next trap could take away the very roof over your head. Men think giving up the house will make things easier. But the truth is that the house is usually the single most valuable asset in the entire divorce. Once you walk away, it's gone, and so is your share of the equity. Always get a professional valuation. Know the equity, know the appreciation potential, and don't walk away without securing your fair portion. That house could hold the financial foundation of your entire future. One man gave his ex the house just to avoid conflict in the beginning. Then 5 years later, she sold at peak market value and pocketed hundreds of thousands in profits. He got nothing out of the sale because he surrendered his rights to the property too soon. Would you give away $200,000 without even knowing it? Because that's what happens when men don't get a valuation of their home before coming to an agreement on the divorce settlement. And if losing the house is painful, the next trap could chain you to payments for life. Most men think alimony ends once she moves on. If only it were that easy. Without clear limits, payments can stretch for decades, sometimes forever. In long-term marriages, lifetime alimony can drain over $1 million from men. Fight for end dates, push for review clauses. Don't accept vague phrases like until remarriage. Lock it down, or you'll be paying forever. A man agreed to alimony until remarriage. His ex never remarried, even after her income doubled. 15 years later, he's still writing monthly checks. If this makes you realize how dangerous divorce can really be, don't just sit there. Subscribe right now. The trap you don't see coming is the one that could cost you everything. And tell me in the comments, do you think lifetime alimony should even exist? Or should every agreement have an end date? I want to know what you think. And if alimony can drain you for life, the final trap is the one most men never even notice until it's too late. Men think the fine print is harmless boilerplate. The reality? Those tiny lines about taxes, relocation, or selling assets can control your life for years. They're some of the most dangerous traps because men don't even read them. Highlight every clause you don't understand. If it isn't clear in plain English, don't sign it until you truly understand what's spelled out. That one line could tie your hands for years, possibly even decades. One man unknowingly signed a clause preventing him from selling his stake in a family business for 10 years. By the time he realized, the business was failing, and he was trapped in the wreckage. These traps don't just cost money. They can cost your retirement, your home, even time with your kids. The truth is simple. Slow down and think through your specific scenario. Read everything on every document and never assume the paperwork is fair just because it looks official and comes from your wife's attorney. Knowledge is your only protection, and protection is the only thing that keeps you from losing everything you've worked for. These were just 7 of the deadly divorce traps that plague men every single day. But there are dozens more that could crush you financially, mentally, and emotionally. Some men just never recover. Please don't let that be you. Subscribe now so you don't miss the warning that could save your future. And if this video opened your eyes, hit like and drop a comment down below. What trap do you think blindsides the most men? And what's the wildest divorce story you've ever heard? Remember, all of the divorce traps in this video are typically the result of men rushing into something to get it over with quickly. But these traps can easily be avoided with patience and some simple diligence. Giving in early may take less of an emotional toll on you up front, but the consequences of moving too quickly can last for decades or even a lifetime. So be smart, do what's in your best interest, and take your time before making any final decisions. It may save you years of regret and keep you from losing it all.